Hi there, my name is Harsh, and this is uh, me and my team's project for the Odoo Hackathon. And we selected the TransitOps problem statement, and here we are with our version of that particular problem statement. So let me just go through the introduction. So as we know, most transport and logistic operation today still run on a simple spreadsheet or Excel sheet, and that Excel sheet is then used and as a reference, and then the WhatsApp group or some other groups, social media groups, are used for correspondence and communication. But this creates a lot of basically chaos among people, and there is not very transparent processes. Like, we don't know if that particular driver is having proper license, and we don't know how much actual running cost is there for that particular vehicle. So all these transparency problems are there, and to solve that we have our solution called TransitOps, a small, smart, and rule driven fleet operation platform built to replace all that transparency issues. And this is the one system, one source of truth, and four role system. If I just log in as manager, fleet manager, I can see, you can notice how the system immediately authenticates. So we have used a JWT token, and it drops straight into a role specific dashboard. This is the dashboard which shows the recent trips made by the vehicle with driver name and status with the estimated time. The sidebar in the left is role aware. What I see here as fleet manager is not the same as what a dispatcher or financial analyst sees. So this role based control uh, is basically allowing same database to be used, same backend to be used, but filtered views and permission gateways for every different action and every different person. We can see how different KPIs are there, like active vehicles, how many vehicles are active, how many vehicles are available, how many are in maintenance, how many trips are there, pending trips, duties, uh, drivers on duty, etc. And there is a refresh button. So basically, whenever we have to refresh the particular data from the database, we can just refresh the data if in case there is some abnormalities. Now if I just go to the fleet registry option, so this is basically allowing the manager to register a particular vehicle. We can just add vehicle and add registration number, model number, vehicle type. We have different vehicle type: truck, minivan. Then we can add the capacity, the current odometer or the current distance in the distance traveled by a particular vehicle, then the acquisition cost, status, and the region of that particular vehicle. And we can just register a vehicle. Now if I just log in as a dispatcher, we have to add a particular email as mentioned in the readme and select dispatcher here. Then if we just log in, as you can see, as I said earlier, the login is based on roles. So as I switch to dispatcher, the views and the access control is different for dispatcher, and here I only can see particular things like trips made by the people, the fleet data, and the dashboard, which is common. So this trips can just basically be like dispatcher can just mention what type of trip or basically what type of cargo is going from one place to another, and we can mention the source location, destination, assign vehicle, what type of vehicle is there. Then we can assign the distance covered, and as we draft a particular trip, the trip is mentioned in the draft, and as that particular draft moves forward, it is then moved forward to the dispatched, completed, and cancelled category if it case happens to them. If I go again to the manager part, we can see that uh, in the maintenance section of the manager login, I can just see all the vehicle in maintenance or which needs a maintenance, and I can just use this log service record to create a maintenance entry in the database, and that particular entry will be uh, stored as log, and it will be there until the service is done and completed. Now comes the safety officer. I will just switch to the safety officer role and sign in. So the safety officer primary responsibility is basically compliance of the driver, and this view shows the entire driver roster, like what's the current status, the license category, expiry date of the license, safety scores of that particular driver, how well the driver drives, etc. And if that particular driver license has expired, the it will be flagged automatically, and critically expired or suspended drivers simply do not appear in the vehicle assignment drop down. So basically, so when we add the license number here, it will not appear or will not allow us to register that particular driver. Now comes the last part, which is the financial analyst. And if I just log in as analyst and financial analyst, it will move me to the that particular role, and here we can see that we have different options, fuel and expenses. So this basically allows that analyst to see how much cost is there, how much fuel is running, how much average cost is there to run that particular vehicle, and the analyst can see how much profitable it is to run that particular vehicle, and we can basically dispose of that vehicle or use another one, something better, something efficient, and we can analyze that using the data or using the visual representation here, which shows accurate bar charts and even ROI. So ROI can be really helpful, which basically gives a better overview of how efficient that particular vehicle is.